And of course, it's on the backs of, you know how it goes with these things. It's a female superhero. People don't read comics. They didn't know She-Hulk existed for like the last 30 years. So, you know, there's chatter about, oh, it's woke. And how dare they turn the Hulk into a woman? Oh,
I miss those combos.
listen, you know, again, I be hiding in the IGNs and all those types of comment sections on Facebook from time to time just to see what people think about the new hotness that's coming out. So, just I'll tell you my thoughts in a minute on what I think about the show. But just a quick rundown. Don't try to give too much away. Just your initial watch.
Don't tell me. I was about to say, don't tell me to give a description because you know I'm spoiler ready over here.
Well, keep it under like 30-something seconds and tell me how you felt about the show.
Oh, how I felt about the show. So far, so good in my end.
It's only been 2 episodes.
Yes, it's only been 2 episodes so far. And I don't really know too much of the She-Hulk character, but like you said, I knew that she existed. So
yeah.
So I'm not upset in any regard that, you know, there's a female Hulk character. There are a few little things that, a little nitpicky things, like the CG could be a lot better, or it's a little cheesy. But I said in a few episodes ago, I want to say, I can't remember which episode I said this in, but what I've noticed is that the MCU, since they merged with Disney, it's like a little bit of extra cheesiness, and that's one thing that Disney is like famous for, is their extra cheese in their content. So I am definitely enjoying it. So far so good for myself. I don't see why people are upset with it. I don't understand. I don't know if it's because their expectations are too high these days and times. Like, everybody's like, oh, it has to be top 10. Everything has to be top 10. And it's like, nah, bruh. That's not how it works. So,
Facts.
So I'm really excited to see where this show is going to go. 2 episodes in, I'm really digging it. The secret scenes, I'm really digging it.
For me, I'm enjoying it. Like, from go. Me personally, I'm not really tough on CG because I know these things are really expensive and everything can't take a huge budget because it's going to take away from the movies and the future of that. And the things that Marvel, Disney Plus has down the pipeline, it's going to take some money to make these things happen. So you got to cut corners where you can. Now, also in saying that, I get what you're saying about the cheese, but in She-Hulk's case, I believe it's perfect for the tone. Because in her corner of the comic books, it's a lot of cheesiness, a lot of slice of life type of things going on. It's just like in the show, she just happens to be a superhero. So I feel like 1-to-1, if I can match this up with the comic, I am perfectly okay with the show. My only gripe I have for the show, my biggest gripe, I think, and I think it really might be my only gripe, is the blood transfusion thing. But we're gonna get into that a little bit later. So, because someone pointed something out to me that made it make sense. So I'm a little less angry about it now. All right, so let's talk about the internet reception of the show. Because you just said you didn't see a whole lot of negative chatter. Number one, you know the show is good, and people are mad that the show is good when they go on like the review sites and they review bomb the show. They literally review bombed the show for no apparent reason.
No apparent reason.
I think
no apparent reason. It's the female Hulk part.
Yeah, it's a female Hulk. They get upset when they have females on screen. They get upset because a lot of the superheroes, the main superheroes, are not white males. They're not white blonde males. They're not Superman. They're not your Homelander. So it's like we have a few shows and series that are female led now, and it's just literally pissing people off. People that are, I'm gonna go ahead and just say it, misogynistic. It is what it is.
Period. They don't understand how a woman could be in charge, or lead, I should say. A lead in the show. They don't understand it. I don't know.
They hated this show from go. Like, they was like, how dare they make a female Hulk?
Yeah.
Like, first of all, she existed 30 years ago. So then the second argument...
Wasn't there a TV show with the female Hulk?
I think she did have a cartoon as well. Or she showed up in the Hulk. But I think she had her own.
Yeah.
Then they got upset at her because she breaks the fourth wall. Well, newsflash, she's the original fourth wall breaker in comics. So she did it before Deadpool. So people are pissed off. They was like, she's basically Deadpool. No, Deadpool is She-Hulk in that regard. What's the other gripe? They had a scene at the beginning when she first turned into She-Hulk where the guy was hitting on her at the bar and then she hulked out on him. They were mad about that.
Why were they mad about that? It clearly looked like it was like 3 or 4 dudes that like kind of ganged up on her a little bit outside of that bar, and she was like, "Nah, bruh," and she hulked out. So I would have hulked out too.
I feel like right. I feel like the most major female empowerment moment from that first episode came from when people are upset that she's a better Hulk than Bruce is. But if you read the comics, I had something right there in my eye. If you read the comics, she is technically a better version of the Hulk when it comes to not everything, because Bruce is like the most powerful, but he also has the ID, which means he has a whole bunch of other personalities. She-Hulk does not suffer from that. She's more confident than. Let's talk about where is her Jennifer. Jennifer is more confident than Bruce. She understands her role in the world. She knows where she wants to go in the world. She knows who she wants to be, and all she wants to do is just be a successful lawyer. That is it. Live her life and have friends. That's Jennifer Walters' whole thing.
Bruce Banner definitely has some identity crisis going on.
Oh man, he definitely does. Like he has like I don't know, like 12, 13 Hulks we've seen in comics just alone, and we've seen like 3 of them on screen. Also, I think it's cool that they finally gave us that moment where they connected the Hulks back to not the original Hulk movie, but the one with Edward Norton. Yeah, because a lot of people don't know that's part of the MCU.
Hulk movie. Yeah, the Incredible Hulk movie. Yes, people, there is a secret scene in that film where Tony Stark pulls up on Bruce Banner.
Yeah, so people don't realize that that's a part of the MCU as well. And arguably my favorite version of the Hulk on screen so far. He was just the fight scenes in that movie between him and Neil Blonsky, it was just A1 for me. And
I love that. I love that they are connecting that original, well, like you said, not the original Hulk movie, but the Incredible Hulk back into the She-Hulk. Because I feel like, even though we've had at this point, 20 odd movies and like 6 different shows at this point, this is like maybe the second time, but the very first time where it feels like it's a full circle moment. Like he's like, yeah, I was a completely different person back then. Of course you were. You weren't even the same actor.
Yeah, that was like a double joke right there. That was cool. That was cool. I
love that. I love that.
Before we get too far into that was on me. I was about to segue for a second. Before we do that, what are your thoughts on people overanalyzing the whole woke thing within everything, especially within She-Hulk? Because I think people are still misusing what woke actually is.
How can I say this?
This game. That's our show for today.
Did we miss anything? Let us know in the comments below or wherever you're listening to us.
Do us a favor, head over to www.thebkspadeshow.com. That's space with a Z. You can get all the blogs, the audio, the video, and some really cool merch.
And if you're listening on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, leave us that 5-star rating, and YouTube. Like, comment, share, and subscribe
to the BK Spadez Show, where society meets pop culture. I am your host, the BK Spadez, here with my very lovely co-host,
Novacaine, baby.
Alright, Spadez gang, thanks for tuning in.